medical products. Now, if a hospital in Ghana cannot pay its debts, why is that a loss to the state? I'm not sure I understand the logic. And how is that a potential for savings? So I think that we need to get into some more structured, some more rigorous analysis of what we mean by irregularities, and then get into a sub-classification where, in addition to the source classification into 7 categories, for each of them we take class 1 irregularity and we explain that this is indeed a loss to the state. Things like misrepresentation and fraud in the accounts, and things like, misappropriation, things like misapplication of public funds. And then when it's an issue to do, which is somewhat contentious, to do with macroeconomic context, to do with government not having money because of fiscal constraints, and for that reason, certain actions are not taken, they are not losses. So we don't classify them as class 1 irregularities. Maybe they are class 2 irregularities of a different kind. The third issue I have is the absence of materiality thresholds in the entire design of the audit process. Materiality is a critical component of audit logic. If you go into an audit situation and you report everything you see, you create a situation where you are hiding important gems in a sea of nonsense. So what we have is that most people don't read Auditor General's report because it's 1,000 pages, much of it insignificant, and heavily concentrated problems, which are hugely significant and which we should focus on, like the deteriorating loan book as net, like the issues to do with single sourcing and procurement abuse at GMPC. But when you have a situation where 44 cedis owed by Coca-Cola Bottling Company to Cocoa Clinic in Kumasi has been reported, what is the materiality? Why should a member of parliament be worried about Coca-Cola Bottling Company owning 44 cedis to Cocoa Clinic, or Exim Guarantee owing 76 pesos to Cocoa Clinic? 76 pesos is ridiculous. There's one instance where somebody is mentioned that they have not retired their interest at a certain Patricia Amankwa, and this Patricia Amankwa has not retired interest of 190 cedis. This is not material. And if you put all of that stuff in a report, you create these giant reports that nobody reads. And so we get lost, and everybody just hears the sound bites and we don't delve into it. My last area of concern is this tendency of this particular audit service regime, which I mean the 2020 regime, not to get involved in controversial matters because they have a political coloration of some kind. I don't understand why in auditing, and that also speaks to the unevenness around the report. So in some cases, you'll find a very diligent auditor who has 20 pages of analysis, including the CCTV performance of a place, and then you have another report and it's 3 paragraphs. And those of us in civil society that deal with this all the time, because we're reading reports all the time, know there's far more going on. So take the Ghana Airport Company Limited matter. We've delved deeply into Frontiers. We know there are a lot of irregularities in Frontiers. They didn't mention Frontiers at all. We've delved deeply into National Lotteries Authority. We know when it comes to this tech stack, N5 Lotto devices matter, Joy FM did investigations. We saw some of those reports. We have far more data on that. Huge irregularities in National Lotteries Authority, huge losses. None of that mentioned in the section on National Lotteries Authority. We have done extensive studies on the Electoral Commission, by far one of the most abusive of all the state institutions we have in this country, to the point where repeatedly they are not audited because they refuse to give you information. Go and check consistently consecutive Auditor General reports and see if you can find detailed audits of the Electoral Commission in most of them. You will not find them. An asset audit has not been conducted for almost a decade, a proper asset audit. We know for sure that they bought devices in 2018, 2019. They came to tell people in Ghana that millions of dollars spent on these devices have not been spent at all. But in fact, they've not bought devices since 2011. We knew that to be false. Where is the asset audit of the Electoral Commission? Why is the Auditor General, the current acting Auditor General, hiding from doing their duty and going there and subjecting them to restrict audits? So we have concerns about this tendency to shy away from tackling political issues. And in that respect, I agree with Mr. Vomawa that Mr. Domelovo set a bar that has not been met. He went after the senior minister, the senior-most minister, and he said, I am going to disallow this crawl thing because you did not follow the standards. You see, the senior minister won on a technicality around natural justice and fair hearing and things like that. The substantive matter still remains important. If you are going to stay away from or shy away from politically sensitive matters, you have no duty in audit. Thank you.